Hello folks, Scott Grove here. Had a request from Mark here in Las Vegas to do some what we call roots blues. Okay, meaning we're getting back to the roots, back in the King days. We're not talking about Elvis, no, we're talking about Albert King, B.B. King, back when blues was actually cool. So later than the Robert Johnson days, but before the Stevie Ray, before the Skinner thing took over and it became something else and went all over the place. So back when times were simpler and notes were more sparse and each note actually meant something. Okay, so we're going to cover dang near from actually the beginning. This is not going to be a intermediate lesson. It's going to be for you beginners in the blues area is where I'm going with this one actually. So we will get all the rhythm stuff covered, all the lead stuff covered, everything you're going to need to get yourself well on your way to becoming a blues guitarist. This one is 2.5 or more hours long. You know, it'll be a few hours long. So you're going to get an awful lot of stuff here. So as long as you know how to play basic bar chord, or even not quite yet, you'll be okay. Please don't read any tabs, because they're not going to be, if you do read them, throw them out the door, because I'm not giving you any. It's a waste of time. None of these people had them to mess with. Just because you have access to them doesn't mean that you should be using them. Just got strong feelings about that. If you want to use them, do it behind my back, alright? Otherwise you're a wuss. It's just the way it is, kids. So we're going to teach you real music. Like I said, we're going to do the rhythm parts all the way from the basic of the beginner. That kind of guitar playing. Okay, so we're going to even be teaching you those. The leads will be nice and simple. There's nothing going to be way out there. It'll be your... Okay, so we'll be getting some of your classic blues licks that you've heard forever. Of course, all of your... everything you've heard before. So we're covering all the rhythm, all the lead. We're going to give you some, me and the old trusty Flying V here, we're going to give you everything you could possibly imagine, except for maybe some soul. I'll try to find some soul in all you white guys out there too. We'll drag it out of you. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick example of some basic stuff that I'll cover on here. So if you want to get a little excited and see where you were going, right about here. Very easy. We'll actually start off with licks like this, as far as the lead goes. So we're going to have stuff like that too. So all your beginner stuff all the way up to some intermediate blues things. So we're not going to miss much of anything. So if you've barely even able to touch a to touch a guitar and get anything out of it, you're going to be awful flipping good by the time this is over. There's no empty promises. You order this thing and you actually work at it, you're going to be good by the end of it. There's no miracles here other than practice and check out what I do, and we'll both get through it together. If you think it sucks, you want to send it back, don't send it back. Just say, hey, it sucks. I give you your money back. That's just the way it is. It's the way I operate. Okay, so once again, Scott Grove, we're going to the roots of blues, back where it all really started to come together. And you guys just enjoy this thing. Mark, thank you for suggesting it. And any suggestions you guys ever have, other than hanging it up, I'll do it. I'll get there eventually. So catch you guys inside. Alright, this is as much as you get to see of me for pretty much the rest of this video. Okay? In order to get a blues sound in the vein of blues that we're talking, the traditional King era stuff, you know, your BBs, your Albert Kings, your who have yous, what you're after is nothing more than just a little bit of overdrive. Okay, this is not a distortion. This was achieved by old tube amps and so forth, and you can get them without a tube amp. You can get them with anything. What you need to basically do in order to get that sound is to take an amp, if you have like a gain knob, turn the gain up higher than your actual level so that it barely starts to get distorted. Okay, so the way this originally became is people would turn their amps, low-powered tube amps, way up, and then when they played through them, they would naturally distort, okay, or overdrive. So that would be, here's almost clean with just a little bit of volume. The more I turn it up, so it don't quite get to the distorted thing. Okay, so what you're looking to do is basically get that, so that the more you turn your guitar up, a little more overdrive you'll get, so when you go take your solos, it'll have a little something to punch it through the wall. Okay? But sometimes you want it nice and crispy and clean, like we've pretty much got it now, because you'll want to back it off and constantly use your volume to control the amount of overdrive you have on your guitar. So there's not much there. So it's almost good and clean like this. Okay? And when we get ready to do our solos, but you're not going to want much more overdrive than that. After that, you're in rock and roll and rock, metal territory, blah blah blah, as far as your tone goes. But that's not what they were into back at this point, so that's what we're going to work with. You can get tube screamers made by Ibanez. Most anybody that makes an overdrive pedal, again, this is not distortion, this is overdrive. Okay, so, and you only just need just a little bit. Okay, you're not doing the speed metal, hard, heavy duty, you know, crunching sound. You just need something to make your amp sound like it's breaking up a little bit. It's coming apart at the seams. Okay, but you're not trying to shatter the, you know, walls. Okay, what I want to show you today is from basically the beginning. Like I said at the intro of this video, if you basically know how to play a bar chord, then by golly, we'll get you there. Okay, let's discuss bar chords for those of you who are not quite up to speed. Let's do it in the key of G. Okay, so starting here on our low E string, first finger, 3rd fret. 3rd finger, 5th fret, A string. Pinky right under, D string, 5th fret. So you got those 3 notes. Here's a good close look. Okay, get you around this way. All I'm doing here, string number 6, 5, 4, just straight down. You play them all at once, or just one downstroke, and then you're killing it, or right here with the palm of your hand, or this part of your hand, the meat of your pinky there. Okay, so it's, and then it just stops. I have hardly any overdrive on it all. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. try to kill it. You can even lift up on here. If you see this, I kind of push down, I let off. I don't let off the guitar, I don't let off the strings. I just lift them up a little bit in order to shut the guitar up. Now here's where we kill you if you're not used to it. If you're used to it, skip ahead. You know, that's the good thing about videos. Just skip right on past this. Some people need this, so it's on here. We've got all day long. Okay, what I am doing here, we're playing all three strings, stopping them, okay, hitting them twice. Okay, I want you to count in your head 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and every time you say 2, okay, the number 2 is the only time I'm going to make you stretch your pinky beyond belief. And do you have to do this? Yep. You got a lot tougher stuff ahead of you, but for those of you who do not know how to do this, you're going to think it's impossible, but it is not. Everybody can do it. It's a matter of where your elbow is, blah, blah, blah. So work with moving it around, but don't make anything stiff. Make it just kind of hang there, because guitar playing is actually not hard. It's just a matter of that it is unfamiliar. Okay? That's all it is. Okay, so what we're doing is taking our pinky all the way up here to the 7th fret on your A string. Okay, so your pinky is going up there only on 2. Remember, I had you counting 1 and 2 and. So watch, your pinky will only hit it for the 2. By the word and after it is back where it was on the 5th fret on your D string. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. And if you only want to hit the lower notes, you can leave your pinky out of the equation altogether down here, but just have it in the wings for this. So you're only actually hitting your low E string and your low A string, or your only A string. So you're only hitting 2 strings instead of 3. But if you want the, then you better get that pinky back there so you can get all 3. Okay? So that's what we're going to look at first, is that. And in order to go to the next chord in C, I'm not spending a lot of time on this. Like I said, that's we got rewind, we got fast forward. Take the whole thing, drag it straight down, 1 string. So you took everything from 3rd fret, 5th fret, 5th fret again. And take the whole thing and just move it down 1 string. So now you got the same thing, but you're just starting on your A string here, 3rd fret, D string 5th fret, G string 5th fret, then same thing. Okay, now I am resting the palm of my hand right back here on the bridge and on top of the strings. So I'm not going, you're just going to beat the heck out of your guitar that way. Don't be a tard. Don't be guitarded. That's right, I said guitarded. I don't want no letters. Okay? So let's close up on that hand. Back to where he was, back to G. Okay, so that's the basic rhythm type part. If you wanted to go to the next chord, which in blues wouldn't more than likely just be your D, so you had your G, C, go down, back up to G. I'm going to go all the way through the pattern one time, back to C, and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, and back to G. And I'm doing it faster than some. Now we're going to D. What is that? That's where you had your C. You just move it up 2 frets closer to the body of the guitar. Back to C. Back to G. G. That is very typical, which is just C, C sharp, D. Okay, so that's all that is. And that's about as much as I'm going to cover on that simplistic of guitar playing. For the remainder of the chord part, the rhythm parts of this, I'm going to start showing you those now, and then we'll get to the lead stuff here in less than a half hour, okay? And then we'll start having some real fun. But everybody deserves a fair shake here, so if you're advanced, skip ahead. If you're not, right here's where you need to be, my friend. We're going to finish out this bar chord and get the sounds that we need, okay? The rest of the stuff that we need as far as these bar chords go, or yes, we're going over all that right now. Okay. In G again, we're going to stay here for a while. Okay? Why not? We're going to finish the bar chord. Okay, now the word bar is spelled B-A-R-R-E. Why? I don't know. I didn't write this. Okay, so what it does is actually think of your finger as a bar, spelled B-A-R, and like a normal person, and just slap it right down there all the way across the 3rd fret, and it will be like a capo or just a bar all the way across your entire neck here, just like your nut is right here. You're doing the same thing. You're just like moving your nut up, man. So you bring it up to the 3rd fret, and actually if you know an E chord down here, just a regular E chord, all you're doing is just adding an E chord with your finger behind it. So if you were to play a normal E chord down here and then you had to make an F out of that, you would actually still, so you're just reforming it so your E chord looks like this. So let's do that to begin with. For those of you who don't know what I'm getting ready to do, put your middle finger, instead of the way you normally play an E chord, but like this, I want you to pretend like your first finger's chopped off. Okay? So now play an E chord after your first finger got chopped off. How the heck do you do it? Well, you just start, again, you put your middle finger on the 1st fret on your G string, put your pinky on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then put your ring finger right above it on the 2nd fret of your B string. Now play the whole thing. Okay, now we grow our finger back. Let's move it up, the whole thing. This whole E chord we got, move it up 1 fret, put your newly formed finger right there. Now there's F. Play all 6 strings. Move it up 1 more. I want to hear them all. And finally up to our G position, up to your first dot, or whatever you have there. I want to hear every one. If you get some kind of clunker, that kind of junk, what it means is your fingers are not arched enough underneath there to allow the string to pass through. So you have to have arches, just like McDonald's. Yes, send me some money, McDonald's. I just mentioned your name. I get no sponsors. I'm nobody. Okay, so that's what you're looking for, is you need good arches. Blah, blah, blah. I take things away. See how everything is arched. Again, taking everything away. It has to, only the tips of your fingers are hitting these strings. Okay, then you put that finger, bar it back down. Okay, and I want to hear all 6 strings. You might as well pause this for a month until you get this right, and you get it right every single time. Okay, so you have to get all 6. Ringing, 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 ringing. Okay, from this point I am going to have you do what is called a hammer-on, which is, again, if you know it, skip ahead. If not, stick around. Glad to have you. Plenty here at the dinner table. Your middle finger, I'm going to have you take it off, put it back on, take it off, put it back on, take it off, put it back on. But when you put it back on, put it forcefully back into its place. So I want you to take it off. That's right, take it off, baby. Now we have a minor chord, and and then slam that finger back on. Not so it hurts you or nothing like that. It's just called a hammer-on for the reason it has like a hammer action. Like if you've ever seen a piano, it's got what is actually called a hammer that strikes the strings. Your finger is doing the same thing. It's striking the note. So you're doing an arch just like a piano hammer. That's why they call it a hammer-on. It just hammers on. You don't pick it again. You take it off. Then go from a minor chord, which is what this is now, G minor, because you're taking away the third of the chord. If you want to know theory, guess what? Yep, I got a video for that too. Okay, so you need to learn to do that. And how do you do it? You sit around for a couple episodes of House or Family Guy or whatever, and you sit around and do that for that half hour or that hour until it becomes natural. Then you'll never have to learn it again. You can skip this part with the rest of everybody else. Now what do you do with that? Uh-oh, something sounds familiar. Okay, what we're doing with that is 2 times on your low E string. I'm kind of muting it again with the palm of my hand. Then I'm hitting only the G string. And then the hammer on. Then while it's ringing, we pick up on our high E string. Okay, again, trying to get everything in the camera shot. I can see you. Yes, you can see me, I can see you. I don't have split screen. I probably will never, but... Okay, now we gotta add something else. What is it? I have to turn this way for you to see it. What the heck was that? That was my pinky creeping out there and doing the impossible again. Yes, mission impossible will become possible. Okay? Again, we're just going to breeze right through it. Once again, be glad you have a pause button. Okay, where our pinky is going is to the 6th fret on your B string. So that is actually called a 7th, even though it's on the 6th fret. It has nothing to do with one or the other. It's just a 7th of the chord. Again, get the theory video and you'll know what that means. Tons of 7ths and 6th chords in blues. And what makes them that? Get the video, that's right. Okay? And it won't be played this way all the time because you play it the way you feel. Blues is about feel. I'm just giving you the tools. You, Daniel-san, you go off, you wax on, you wax off. Don't let me see you wax off or I give you a spanking. Okay? So we go to... Did I just say that? Yeah, I did. Okay. We go to this. How did we get all that? We had the first part twice on the low E, hammer on the G string. We pulled up or picked up on our high E string. Then you actually hit where your pinky goes on the 6th fret on your B string. And then when you go to put it back in place, you just do an upstroke of 1, 2, 3, whatever strings. However many you happen to hit is how many you happen to hit. We're not looking for accuracy here. We're looking for feeling more than anything. Okay? Blues is a feeling. You don't have to be a monster guitar player to play blues. You just have to find some soul in you. Okay? And I'll dig that out of you here in a little bit. You'll start to feel it. You know, it'll be like something bad coming back up that you ate earlier. It'll come back up at you. Trust me. Then I chopped it off. How did I do it? My hand was nowhere near my guitar. My fingers did not leave my hands. That's right, I just simply let off the pressure on the chord. I just simply let it. There I'm pushing down. You can hear it. Now I'm not. Now he's pressing. Now he's not. Now he's pressing. Now he's not. Okay? Just that quick is what we're looking for. Yeah? And if the song's slower, guess what? Yeah, you play it slower. So, okay? That is a typical blues rhythm part. The other parts that make it cool, I'll show them to you right now. The next one is going to be a... oh, I love these. Oh, we'll use our 9th chords. Okay, this is cool. We're going to C9. Okay? Great chords. You'll be using these more than anything in the world. The 7th that you did, if you play the whole thing, we'll get on embellishing in a second. All this is what we're doing now. Okay, C9. How do we build it? Let's build that house. Middle finger, 3rd fret, A string. 2nd fret, 1st finger, D string. Now we're just going to use one more finger, and we're going to arch it the wrong way. That's right. It's going to look like this. Yeah, you can do it. Everybody else does it. You're going to say, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. Everybody else does it. That's right. Everybody else jumps off of whatever should you. In this case, you betcha. So one person jumps, y'all jump. Okay, so we're covering 3 strings. Your G string, B string, and E string, all with your ring finger and with it bent, looking like it is broke. There it is. That's the best shot I can give you. But that's how she flies, kids. Okay, because you're barely given enough room between that and your 2nd finger up here to make room for your 1st finger to be on the 2nd fret on your D string. So you got to make a little bridge there. I'll give you the other angle. There you go. Okay, so there's what you got. I lift one up at a time. You can see there is actually that string passing through, the D string passing through, and we're covering it with this. So there's the weird angle of all the fingers, how they have to be. Yep, it has to be arched like that. There's no other way to do it. Will your finger do it? Yes, it will, unless you have chopped it off in sometime in your life. Then it will do it. It will do it. It will do it. It will do it. So that is how to play a C9. Okay. Okay. Now what we do with this chord is so much. Okay, it sounds cool by itself. Now you can actually take all the notes, especially the lower ones, being down here on this, your A string and your D string, those two that you can actually use, but you can actually move the whole dang thing. And this is vibrato. You can hear stuff going on. Listen. There's a day in Hendrix starting off. Turn up your volume. You know, getting that bumblebee sound. But this is vibrato. This will become a feeling thing. This will no longer become mechanical to you later. Right now, if you're learning it for the first time, you're just going to be going... It's going to sound like a record player, if anybody here is old enough to remember records. It'll sound like a mouse got stuck on there and he's just sitting there and it's all out of round until you get... Otherwise, you're going to be going... Like somebody getting sick in a cartoon. Okay, but we're trying to actually get this. So it's just a little bit of flavor. Alright, so it's not flavor, it's flavor. Alright? So vibrato, if you're not familiar with that term, is what it's called. A little bit of feeling is all it is, a little bit of soul. Okay, now what did I do to get up to that? Is slide into it. Go 1 fret behind it. Start the whole thing. It kind of looks like the whole thing is on the 3rd fret anyway. So act like it's on the 2nd fret and just scoot into it. Hit it. And then shake it. Okay, so you sneak up on it and shake it. You don't have to hit them all. Grab a couple. Don't use your pick if you don't want to. A lot of players don't use their pick in blues. You can just grab it with your thumb and your fingers, or just your thumb. You know, however you want to play with your right hand is totally up to you. There's no right or wrong with this. There really isn't. People will tell you there is. There's not. There's players out there 20 times greater than I've ever thought of being. Heck, you probably only have a thumb on their hand and that's it. So use whatever is good for you. Okay? Don't let anybody tell you anything different. There's no real laws here. Okay, so I slid up into that chord, into the C9. Okay, what else can we do with it? We can actually go all the way up to the D9, which of course is just like before, where we scooted everything from C up 2 more frets. We will want to do that later, but for now, we are going to actually go sliding up to that, and then right back to where we was. But we're only going to take a string or 2 along with us, as far as on the picking end, or whatever you use, your hook, or whatever you have on your right hand, or your left hand if your guitar is upside down in your Hendrix. Okay? By all this, I mean this. So I will use it in the form of a sentence, Alex. Okay? So you see what I'm going to be teaching you now. So what it is, I go up to that, I just hit 1 string or 2 string with an upstroke, starting from our C9 position. I'm hitting the high E string with an upstroke. I'm sliding up to it, sliding back to it. No other time am I picking it. Then grab another note, or 2, then another note or 2. And wiggle it, shake it all about. And do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Okay, so you hear things happening now and here that you can change. Okay? By that I mean okay, so you don't have to make everything the same. It don't have to be what I'm playing. I'm just showing you, like I said, these are tools for you to mess with. You don't have to go, you know, because that's going to get old really quick. You just do what falls out or what you want, whatever strikes you at the time. It can be this. I can crank it up, get a little more aggressive. You know, it can be that over top. Or it could just be one time, like that. Okay? So that's what that is all about. Same thing when you get to the D finally. I'm going to take you through it. I'm going to make it up as I go. Okay, so here we are in G. Here's our hammer on. That lick. Slide in. I'll show you that. Back to C9. Same thing you had, but you just move it up here. You'll hear this a lot of times. People will actually move it up. Okay? So instead of going back from D, you have all of the freedom you want to actually move that up 1 more fret. From D to D sharp. Back to D, then back to your G. Okay, here comes the embellishment part of the rhythm. Okay, we're going to do about another 20 minutes on the rhythm thing here. Okay, I'm going to give you a full hour of this rhythm. Because you need it. It has to be there, you know, so skip ahead to hour 2 if you're here for the lead stuff only. And then we'll go to hour 3 if need be. I'm going to stay in the key of G for now, and then we'll move it all about, because I've got backing tracks in the key of B flat and the key of H. Yes, that's right. People in the old days, and some people will still argue today, that G sharp is actually called H. Go figure. But who's to tell them wrong? I am. Get a life. Anyway, so we're back here. What else I did in here that is cool that you need to have? Same thing we were doing. Okay, it's hammer on, and a new term for some of you, pull off. Okay, I'm moving my ring finger and my pinky out of the way. Okay, I'm moving my ring finger down to bar across only the two middle strings. So your D string and your G string, but at the 5th fret. Again, we're doing that. That's right, folks. We're going to break every one of your fingers. So that's what's actually happening. Again, from the side view, I'll take this away. You can leave it there, which is actually what will happen. So, close-up view. So it's flattening out like this. Okay, so you're hitting this, then hitting the two middle strings. Flattening that out right there at 5th fret. Then, that's my guitared, exaggerated version of showing you hammer-ons and pull-offs. Hammer on, we know you hammer it on. When you pull it back off, that's a pull-off. Guess what? That's how it gets its name. But when you pull it off, you're not simply pulling it off. You are actually picking the string. So it's almost like you're taking it like this. This is over dramatic. This is a drill. This is not the real thing. I would tell you to stick your head between your legs, kiss your booty bye if this was the real thing. But no, you're actually taking it here, pulling it just a little bit, picking it. So that's what will be happening underneath here. I'm not using my other hand. So sit there and work on doing that until you can go back and forth really fast. Sometimes you'll use it, sometimes you won't. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Okay, so put that finger on there, pull it off. Put it on, pull it off. Put it on, pull it off. But when you pull it off, give it a little snap, whatever it takes to make it happen. For some people, it's different. Okay, what I do there, same thing we've already done. I changed what's called phrasing. Phrasing is what you're going to come up with. I'm going to give you some examples. You'll figure them out because you've heard blues things a million times, but they all do just variations of what I'm showing you here. Okay, so this is putting that finger back down, flatten it out, flatten it out, hit it once with the hammer on, whatever, and you can do it just the one time. You don't have to go all over the place, but do what you feel. And I'm sliding 2 frets up to this G with only the low E string. Now here's what's cool about that little flattening out part. You've heard that. That is all one movement. Excuse me. That's one movement. More jack for me. That is that crooked finger right there. Crooked letter, crooked letter, crooked letter in the I. You take it up to the 6th fret. No more picking. Slide it down to the 5th fret, and then pull the whole thing off. So you're doing the G string and your D string together, D string and G string. All one big motion. So here, 6th fret, slide, pull the whole thing off by picking it as you release it. So, and I still haven't hit it. I'm hammering it back on again to 2 strings. I don't even have to hit it at all for the rest of the song. Okay, so you got to get really strong at these hammer-ons and pull-offs. So once again, take a look. I will do it with no help from my friends. Watch my right hand, this one. Okay, so it can be that easy. So this guy don't always have to be there, okay? He can be off doing taxes. So we've got this much here. When you are in the key of G here, like I said, you've got your G. You can slide from the low E string up 2 whole frets. So you can go back 2. And you only want to slide up 1 fret when you're going to the C9. But you have the luxury of going up 2 frets, up to that D9, and then right back up to it while the band is in C, or whoever behind you is in C. D. Okay, that is nothing more than what we've already went over. It's a matter of going over it with a jam track. So I will find something for us in the key of G, and I will play over top of that, and you'll see what can be done with it, just with what we've learned. Okay, here we go.
2, 3, 4.
Listen to what he's doing. There's one guy going. One guy into this. One guy's just doing that. What we did at the beginning. Now here's what we just went over. I'll play over top of it. The beginning. Here's the simple stuff. Up to D, C, back to G, up to D. Shut the band up. Okay, so that's basically the majority of rhythm that you're going to be doing in blues is that kind of stuff. It won't always be that fast. It'll be slower, blah, blah, blah. It'll be faster, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now I am going to allow everybody to take a drink. That's right. Good old iced tea. And now we have the opportunity to, that's right, we're going to branch out into key of B flat. Why? Because you have to. Because I said so. Where's B flat, kiddies? That's right. I'm going to give you 15 more minutes. 15 more minutes. 15 minutes, folks, left of rhythm stuff before we move on. So where's B flat? It's right, B4. The B. So you are actually taking this whole G thing. Up one, up to G sharp, up another one, up to A, and up to another one, A sharp. What is it also called? B flat, that's right. If you don't know it, look it up in your book. Look it up online. No, I'm just teasing. Figure it out. Okay, so B flat is actually here at the 6th fret. The same thing we were doing before. Everything will look exactly as it did before. It'll only be in a different place. So we're working out of the 6th fret. Okay? So everything looks the same. same old, but we're just going to go one time with a little jam track, whatever it may be. It's in the key of B flat. Sounds like a Casio keyboard to me.
2,
Count it out, my man.
2, 3, 4.
Let's see what we're doing. Oh, we're still in the key of G. That would do it. Okay, B flat. I thought that sounded familiar. Okay, now here we are. That's the guy right there in B flat. We're slowing down. Okay, we're going in B flat. Okay, he's starting it. Here's your B flat. Here's E flat. Now B flat. E flat. Just slide it into like that if we want. Hear how easy that is? He's playing. That's what he did. Okay, so all he's doing. Shake it. Now you'll hear this. Okay, we're going up to the F. He's going to play up. Okay. Now you can hear that organ and the piano. Sometimes your job is to lay out. All you're hearing now is good example. It's still going to be the same patterns. You're still going from here to your other chords, okay? But sometimes less is more. You got to hang out and let the other folks, whoever they may be, have their turn to play. It's not all about you. If you're in a band situation, it's not all about you. You got to let the other folks play too. So you got to shut the heck up every now and then. Okay, so that means instead of going, you just simply do what they just did. Or just boom, da, boom, 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 and let them play between it. And you might only just play that. Whether that stuff be a person singing, a piano, a saxophone, a whatever, flutophone, I don't care. It could be a recorder, it could be anything. But you got to get out of somebody else's way. Let the song actually breathe. Breathing is actually a very important part of playing guitar. Not you breathing, but letting the song breathe. Blues is not about being all cluttered, full of a bunch of garbage. So right straight away here, I call it straight away since we've been 50 minutes at this. Get in there, play your piece, get out, let somebody else play their piece, but you still got to be there, but just barely holding up the bottom end, just give them something to play to. And the song will actually breathe better. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. Less is more. You got to let it just come down to nothing. It's called dynamics is what it actually is. So you could be like... it some room to chill and to breathe and be dynamic about it, okay? I know it sounds like, hey man, he's tripping. He may be. But that's part of the blues, man. You gotta let people in there with you and let them take over. You take a back seat. Okay, as far as on the rest of this rhythm part goes that I get to show you, let's do this. Let's stay here in the key of B flat just because we've been in G for so long. Is just that one little simple note. You already have a finger here that is barring everything. We're here at the 6th fret, B flat. You get rid of everything. You just take that finger, move it down a little bit. I want you to grab a hold of your G and your B string. Okay? Not your high E. It'll be under there because it's under there. And because you're doing something funky with your finger again. I want you to grab both of those strings at the 6th fret, your G string and your B string, and shake them towards the floor. Let them back up, down towards the floor. Not like that. So it has to have a nice quiver to it, not that seasick thing we were talking about earlier. But anyway, what we're going to do with it, so you know where the heck I'm going, is you can add that in with your rhythm. Okay, I'll make it a little more intelligible, clean sounding, or what have you here. Okay, we're getting ready to go into our lead, so I'm going to start getting you there from out of your rhythm. So actually, if you left your whole hand there, you could do it, but you're not going to get your vibrato out of it. You're just going to shake your guitar up and down. So get your finger down here, where you can actually shake the rest of your hand. And just those two strings. Again, your G string and your B string. Work on that for a half hour during Jeopardy. Or Sanford and Son, or whatever the heck you happen to be watching. I know you're not watching Macmillan and Wife. I know, how old is this dude? So there's a good shake, and then, what was that? That is another B flat. Instead of this B flat, it's the one where your pinky was. The one here at the 8th fret on your D string. So I want you to go do that shake. Do your shake. And then, that's right. Hey, Angus Young. Go figure. There's a blues man. Okay, wore the wrong shirt. Anyway, a good rule of thumb for now. There it is. Okay, past that, let's do this. Hit that note twice, or those two notes twice. Then I want you to use your ring finger at that 8th fret on your D string to solidify. There's my big toilet paper word for the day. Your note, you're back in B flat. And again, I'm bending it down towards the floor. I'm not bending it up like we will later. If you could do one single bend with this whole, so bend it towards the floor until it becomes that. Okay, it's a weird bend, but if you can get that, it is very cool. And then back to here, or whatever you want within that. What was that bend in? You've already learned it. Okay, so it was. So you can do all that junk. We're getting ready to go through that. But that's basically what I'm going to show you as far as the rhythm goes. The rest of it, if you're in G, we will get back to that, okay? But if you're in G back here where we was, what happens if you go to, if you want to be in the key V, move it down to G flat or F or E. In E, okay, you just play it like you did with a regular E chord. Just like you got got your finger back. You make your E like you used to. And then we're going to start using 7th chords real quickly instead of using 9th chords like we were using, and like in G. 7th chords. How to play those really quick is this. Use a C chord. If you're in the key of G, it don't matter what key you're in actually, but if you're in the key of G, then play C. Use your pinky, 3rd fret, on the G string. Sometimes this is more valid sounding, or you just want to change the pace, so use a 7th chord instead of the 9th. Use a 7th. If you want to get D7, what do you do? Just move it up, just like that whole C chord, but C7. So your whole thing could be 7ths. And C7. Sliding up half. Back to G7. D7. Okay, so it's a matter of whether you want to use 9ths or 7ths. You're allowed to use them all. It's blues. It's about feeling, not so much about structure, okay? And so if you're down here in E, and then you go to A7, because you're not going to be able to play an A9th because it's out of reach. You can't play it here. You can play it here. Okay, and we'll get to that. Okay, so there is your first whole hour on your rhythm. We're getting ready to kick into the lead stuff here. Being that I am in the age of a lovely technical negligence as I am, I have to actually switch the digital tape here, and we will continue on. Okay, so I'll see you in just a couple seconds. Hey folks, we're right back here. Now we're going to continue where we were at, which was, okay, we're going to be showing you actually how to start getting into the lead stuff. As things hit me as we go, I might slip back into the rhythm. I'll just throw it at you as I feel you will probably need it, and explain it as we go. So as far as the lead stuff, this is where everybody wants to be. Everybody wants to be a lead player, which is fine. It's a matter of to what degree you want to go with it. If you are in blues, which is where every guitar player loves to be at, you got to learn that not everything is all this junk, okay? You got to learn that, just like B.B. King, I keep using Kings because they are so simplistic, overly so. They being all the Kings, like I said, Albert, B.B., whoever, that one note from them guys can speak volumes more than 3,000 notes in a second by any shredder out there. You get BB out there, he just milk one note, just, you know, it just depends on how he executes it. He can play that one note for 10 minutes and make you think he just did, 40,000 different things, and say a lot more to you than anybody else, like I said, could say with thousands of notes. That vibrato that we were working on earlier will become very, very, very important at this point. Okay, so in G, use your G string. And in case you don't know it, for those who just don't, for whatever reason, who cares if you know it already or not? The rest of you get to catch up. Your guitar starts again right here at the double dots, or whatever you have there, your 12th fret, whatever it may be. So if you have G string, go to the 12th fret. That is a G again. Okay, so we're going to work there. Number 1, because it's cool. Number 2, because it's on camera, and I don't have to bend this way. Okay, a lot of great reasons. I'm going to get a little more. Okay, we're going to use our, if you hear a buzz, that's simply the amp and single coil pickups. These are not humbuckers, these are single coils, like in a Fender guitar. So even though it's a, what is this thing? It's a 1980 Gibson V2. In case anybody's interested, I'll shut her down for a second. Bill Lawrence single coil pickups in here. Very strange guitar, but very, very highly sought after by people who dig cool things and not just wacky things. But walnut, maple, walnut, maple. It's all layered together, then they finally cut it. So, little show and tell. So there's what you got. You got it back here on the back of the whole neck. Just extremely cool guitar. It's a cutaway right here for people with little belly like mine. Okay? Of course, it's Gibson. They don't do everything right. They put the jack in the wrong place. So you try to put your leg in there and it gets stuck on their cord. It's like nobody that plays guitar actually helps design these things, but so be it. But it's an extremely cool guitar. These right now in this condition, which is probably about a 9.5, run about $3 grand, 3,500, something like that. If you go to eBay to get them, you can get some that are beat up, for a couple grand or 2,500. But cool guitar, brass nut and everything on them, and brass everything or gold plated everything. Just cool guitar. Just one of the sleepers that you may not always see again. So just thought I'd throw that in. Okay, so we're in the key of G. We're going to use our middle finger, and we're going to again be bending down towards the floor. And you'll know you got it right when you start hearing that. Okay, so you just work on whatever it takes to get your vibrato happening. Just keep shaking it anywhere until you can actually start making notes happen without you ever having to pick it. Then you'll know you're basically in the right ballpark. Okay, so on the G string on the 12th fret. Okay, that's what we're after. Is right now we're going to be in the key of G from before. Okay, but now we're just simply working on getting one note, and we're going to build a few notes here and get some whole bunch of licks together. Put things, string different pieces together. So we'll make puzzle pieces and we'll put them together. So here's the first thing we need is this. Like I said, some people can milk that, meaning play it till your ears fall off, and that's all they need to play is that one note. It's just a matter of how you execute it. I'll stick this backing track in the key of G. I'll just stick it in the middle. It's just one note every time. Who would want to play a solo like that? Probably a lot of people, because they don't have what it takes to get that much out of one note. And that was just throwing something out there just for the sake of oversimplifying it. But that was one note, people, just doing what you can with that one little note. So, point made. Okay, how do we get around some other things? Okay, a thing we were talking about earlier on the rhythm was doing sevenths. Okay, a seventh chord being... Put that pinky down there on the 6th fret. So what that actually is two notes flatter than your root note. Again, Mark from Vegas, thanks again for the root idea on the title for this. We're going to go from the root, or what key we're in, G, and go 2 frets behind it, or flat it a whole step. What that means, half step is 1 fret, a whole step is 2 frets. If you ever hear that term again in your life, steps. If you go a whole step back, you go back 2 frets. Okay, so that's flatting something a whole step. You're flatting the root, or the G, since we're in the key of G, a whole step. If you're flatting a half a step, it would just be 1 fret. So we're flatting the root a whole step, in case I throw those terms out there. That is your 7th. Okay, one other note I want to show you is your D. So again, 12th fret, but on your D string. Okay, so these 3 notes are going to be what we're going to be working with for the next 3 minutes or so. Now I want your ring finger on your G note, 12th fret, G string, finger to be ready to be doing a pull off from the 12th fret to the 10th fret, so to your 7th. Not your 7th fret, your 7th chord, 7th of your root. And then your D string, so your 12th fret on your D string. So those are our 3 notes. I don't care what order you play in. Play in whatever order you want, backwards. Play them forward. Play them halfway in the middle. I don't care. It's up to you. It's not a matter of what order your notes are in. It's just a matter of you playing notes that are allowed. Okay? There are notes that are allowed. There are notes that are not allowed. I will teach them all to you, young Daniel-san. Somebody named Daniel out there is going, quit it! Okay, so again, I'm going to play part of that backing track. I'm going to play just those 3 notes and show you what I'm going to show you. See where we're at? It don't matter. Check this out. Here's the 7th. Again, we are so oversimplifying everything, but that is to show you that those 3 notes can sit there and go all day long, but we can make them even more interesting. But that is showing you the first 3 notes of our first block. Okay. That's the first thing I want to show you is. So you're going from 12, 10, shake it, then grab your 12th fret again. And then we're doing what is called a gliss, G-L-I-S-S. Or you can do a pull-off. Then hit it and let it glide all the way down so you hear every note, but fast. And then stop it with this. Now there is a cool thing. That is something you will need later. If you screw up, that is not a screw up. You meant to do it. Do it again. It don't matter. I hit the string and it kind of stopped. I accidentally choked it. That's what you call it. You're choking your... It's not a chicken, it's a guitar. You choke that string by accident by putting something on it. Come back in with a bunch of hiccups or whatever you want to call these things. Sounds like Mel Tillis, if you know who he was, the old stuttering singer. Grab it back up and fill in the holes if it happens to stop. And then go back into it. It breaks it up, it makes it sound cool. A lot of the coolest things you've ever heard in your life are mistakes that got recorded. And the sound engineer's like, there's no way we're getting rid of that. That was just too human. That's what blues is about, is actually sounding human and getting away from drum machines and keyboards and blah, 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 all the crap that has come out in the past 100 years. Okay, so that was a good thing to happen. And that is our first lick. It's just strictly going to that 7. It's an old horn line. Okay, so a bunch of trumpets and saxophones, you know, playing along. You get a couple of them together. And we can put those together too. That's just 2 notes at the same time. So you can do the same thing. Add your B string underneath it. Remember how we were going this earlier? Do the same thing. Okay, so now you've got more information than you had 2 seconds ago. Like I said, these are guidelines. Go all around them, please. It's all about what you find, Daniel-san, on your little hunt. Now from that is just the simplest thing we can do. The other thing I showed you was the D string, or the D note. Okay, so now I want you to play those three together. So pull off 12, 10. Those are the fret numbers, 12 to 10. Then hit that D note. So 12th fret on your D string. So pull off. Okay. That is just strictly to have another note to play. Of course, again, the more you crank your volume, okay, there's the point I wanted to make, was getting to, okay, you'll remember a Led Zeppelin song. It actually was like, play the same thing basically here. It's just a cool way of remembering how to do this. So from the 12th fret on your D string to your 10th fret on your G string. Okay, that's all. You can see what I'm doing. I don't have to explain every note. That will give you a sense of phrasing. And you can slide up to that note. Do I want you to play this Zeppelin song? No, but I want you to use it for a frame of reference so you can kind of get something jiggy going. Okay, so I will take it out of context now, but play just those notes. Okay. Find out where my band is. There they are. Watch this, here's those notes. Okay, so here. Oh, there's my band. They're already done with way before me. Get back here, band. Okay, here. So there's those notes. Do that 7th with the pull off. With a gliss. Case in point, right there. Just those three little notes. Playing that 7th adds what we call tension. Everybody is waiting for you to get to the root. Or back to G. Okay, so that is building what is called tension. They're just waiting. They're just shaking that thing, and they're like, come on, drive it home. Then you take them home. Ah, there you go. Okay, so that is called tension. So you want to build tension. You're invoking a feeling. Okay, I'm trying to teach you a little bit about how to feel, how to get a groove, how to feel the blues thing. Not the sad blues, but the guitar blues. The other stuff you get to live once you've been married 8 times, okay? So you'll get the real thing later. If you find that your notes aren't lasting as long as you want to, crank it up. That's what the knob's there for. It'll last longer. Then you can hit it softer or whatever you got to do, but you'll find a happy medium. Okay, now you did notice that when it went from the D, that I did go down to the C. So from D to at the 12th fret on your D string. That's just naturally following the chord progression of the song. To show what I'm talking about. So you're in G. stay right in G when it goes to C. Guitar comes back to G. Now we're going to D, dog. Okay. Now that brings up another very good point. And blues especially, more than any other genre of music. Genre, that's French for genre. You can go from G in your chord, you're playing up here in your lead. Yes, I'll teach you that. Then it goes to C. You do not go chasing the chord. That means if the chord goes to G, now they go to C. That don't mean you go. You can, but it is totally valid and more than expected of you to stay in G when the band drops down to the C or when it goes to the second chord in the progression. Only when it goes to the D do you have to change. No, you can stay in G the whole flippin' time in blues. You have a highway to hell in blues to play in G no matter what the heck everybody else is playing, as long as this song is in the key of G. Okay? Case in point. Bring my band back in. I'm going to stay in G. I'm in G. Now they're getting ready to go. There's C. I'm still in G. Now back to G. Back in, still to G. Now they're going to D. Now C. Now back to G. Now to D. Everything there is in G all the way through. So let's concentrate on that for a couple of seconds. And okay, there you go. A couple of seconds went by. You can stay in G. Now let's find out some other stuff we can put with this. Now here comes the really important things. This is bending stuff and hurting yourself. Okay, hurting your fingers, hurting everything else. But this is where the blues part, this is where it starts to get fun. I know it's an hour and 20 minutes into this thing. Where's the fun? Here it comes, kids. This is just straight bending of notes, but this are the one. That's right. I went to school in Indiana. Hi to all my Hoosiers out there. So these licks. So those licks, those are the ones we're getting to now. This is how we get about it. We're going to use now, again, stay in G. Why? Because it's on the camera. Okay, because my cameraman won't work for what I'm willing to pay her. I'm going to use our middle finger for this particular exercise. Why? Because that's the way it should be. Okay, I'm going to get some medium overdrive here. Not much. What we're going to be looking at is basically straddling that position. What do we have to straddle it with? One finger on this side, one finger on this side. Blah, 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 blah. That's why we're using our middle finger right here on the G string, on the 12th fret. Okay? So we're going to have our ring finger that can go to the half step up, but on the B string. So the 13th fret of the B string, and or half step down with our first finger, same string, B string, but on the 11th fret. So our 12th fret is totally now reserved just for our middle finger, but we can use the 13th fret on the B string. We're going to have both fingers on there. Okay, it's like a storybook. Both fingers on there, and then, well, I'll tell you what, and then you use both fingers to help you bend that note up, because one finger is hard to do it. We're going to use one finger in a second, but that first bend is a long step. Okay, so we're taking that 13th fret on the B string, bending it up. And you want to bend it all the way up to D. Right now it is a C note. And you want to bend it up a whole step. Okay, there's that whole step. So if you want to check it out, go up a whole step or 2 frets. That's how far you want to bend it. Now we do the same thing with the other finger. And you're going to bring it to where this was. Okay, so whole step. and then shake it. Okay, you've heard these a million times. Okay, those are 3 notes again. Now that's just a different phrasing. Choke it when you get up there. And then vibrato the holy heck out of it. Okay, so once again, we're just going to bend it up. You do what you want with it. If you want to choke it, choke it. If you don't, don't. Now, a cool thing to do while we're here is, while we're doing the bend up again, whole step. When we get to the G, that is actually a minor bend. That is a step and a half. And that's towards the floor. So we're going all the way up here to the 15th fret, okay, which is actually a B flat or an A sharp, whatever you want to call it, other than impossible, but no, it's not. Bend it towards the floor. Because you can't really bend it that way, it's just hard to do. So you're going to be bending 2 different ways. Okay, why do we bend it past a whole step and go a step and a half? Because we can. Just go beyond it. It sounds better. It just plain old does. Blues with these minor notes in it, meaning a flatted third. Again, go get the theory DVD. You'll learn all that stuff. Yeah, you got to have sales here to keep doing this. Just sounds better. Okay, and you can actually hyperextend. There's a toilet paper of the day stuff I invested in again. Learned that word. You can actually hyperextend those first few notes if you want, if your strings won't break. So always keep good, fresh strings on your guitar, okay? Don't let them rust. If you see rust on them, it's time to go, okay? Don't be cheap. You can hyperextend them by bending them more than that whole step that I told you could take. So instead of that, you can go. Blues players are huge on this. Okay, I will drive all these points home right now with an example. See where all the band's at. Okay, they're in D. Okay, here's our regular whole bends. Hyper. So there I was giving you the tension again. Is everybody waiting for me to get there and do my gliss and go home? But yeah, I hyperextended that right off the whole TV screen. And the more faces you make, whatever you gotta do, the cooler you are. You're not a blues guy, you gotta make the face with everything, make it look like everything hurts. Just like somebody's putting a cheese grater on your face. Okay? It's all part of the game, kids. Okay, so there we are getting our building blocks together. So we had our... Okay, now we're going to get some more of this. What can we do? Oh my God, we need something. Let's stay in the key of G. Why not? We're going to add to this, okay? We are going to take that... Oh, what was that? We just put our pinky underneath of our ring finger is all. So you're at the 13th fret right here on the B string, bend it up, then put your pinky on the 11th fret of the high E string and hit it while your B string is bent up in the air. So you've got that B string bent all the way up. But don't hyperextend it, go only up that whole step. Okay. The cool thing about this is you can hit them both at the same time or separately. That's hitting them both. Bending one, leaving your pinky where it is. Don't bend your pinky up. And you can let it back down. or you can go back and forth. The old police siren thing. But you see what I'm talking about. Alternate picking, which means ding, 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 ding. Again, staccato, you're chopping them off. There is so many things. It's just a way you phrase something. That one is hitting both those together that I just showed you. Then releasing, not releasing the hounds. It's releasing the bend, pull off to the 11th fret on your B string. Then drive it back home, and then glisten. If you want. The cool thing about this, like I said, I'm not going to try to make you overplay here, but if you want to, hint, you can. Sound familiar? That's where Skynyrd ripped off all their stuff. Okay, so a few years after all these guys, 20 years later, Skynyrd comes along, plays blues on 78 speed on a 33 record, and a legend is born. Go figure. Okay, there's your history of rock and roll, kids. But we're playing blues, so let's kick it back. That is just for a little bit of flavor. Too much of that, and you get outside of the realm of where real blues is. But it is an option. Okay, it's something that you can add in. I will add it in right here just to show you where it sounds like in context. Here it is. That's basically what you have up there to work with. Now, one last thing is if you look at it, and then I'm going to take you to a different position, okay, and then I'll explain to you what that is. If you look at what we just did, those notes, you have a million things you can do there, not just what I showed you. There are literally a million things you can do there. Trust me, I've counted every one. I left all the brown M&Ms out and everything. What does that mean? Read up on your rock and roll history. Contract writers, Google it. You'll laugh later. If you're doing this and you hit that note on your high E string with that pinky there, that is a seventh again. What do I mean? It means just like you're already here. It means you're just a whole step away from being back to G again, or your root. Okay, what you're going to need. Check it out. You can echo yourself, mimic yourself. You will find this with especially blues. Brings up another very good point. Thank you, Scott. Oh, you're welcome, Scott. You'll be playing along, and a blues guy will say something. He would usually be the singer, and you being the blues guy, being the guitar player, you might be one and the same, but you can answer each other's sentences, which they often do, which is a mimicking thing. It's like a parrot. I went to the bathroom. You just repeat what the heck they just said. Okay? So what that means, what I'm trying to get across is just what I showed you there. You were right there at that seventh. You might as well get back home. So you had the option of climbing on up to get that G there. So you copy it. I went ahead and kept going. Number one, because the note was dying out, and I just wanted to keep it going. Number two, if you hit it again, it changes it just a little bit, but you're still echoing back the same sentiment. Make sense? Hope so. That note just lasted forever. Change it up just a little bit, but answer back. So blues guy, singer guy. I played a G note. That is another huge big thing, is the answer back. Okay? So we have to play things that actually are in the same I guess, in the same vocal range as the vocalist. And you got to pick and choose your points. You don't do that all night or it gets really, really old. But it's just another trick that you can do. And so now we're going down to that range. A singer can't sing up here unless you're Mariah Carey or something like that, or Steve Perry, or anything that rhymes with airy. Okay? It's just the way it is. You know, you're born, depends on how loud you scream, if your name is Harry or Carrie or Jerry or Larry or Mo. So Mo is down here singing in the bathroom, you know, so here's where the vocal range is at. Okay, how do we know we're in G down here? Because we do. Why? Because earlier we were playing a G, and we had our pinky here on the G. That's right, 5th fret, D string. Okay, now, when we were doing this, now you can do it from here too, but now start from that D string. Now we're going to the A string, 5th fret. Same thing, you're just working in that little box. Okay, so you're playing the A string 5th fret, D string 3rd fret, A string 5th, D string 3rd, 5th, on the D again. So that's just that same place. And you're back here to where we originally left off 34 minutes ago. That's right, I got a little clock in front of me. Where we started to get ready to do the lead. Okay. That's right, now we're getting into the human voice area of this. This is where it actually can be the coolest, instead of playing way up here all the time where the guitar players like to be seen playing. Sometimes it's better to be heard than seen. There hasn't been videos all of our lives, kiddies. I know some of you have always, it's been I remember when there was no such thing as TV. That's right, my dad told me about it. So we're going to get down here to where everything can be copied with a voice. Okay, this here's where your guitar actually has a voice that can actually match a human voice. Okay, what all can we play here? Okay, I just showed you that, which was, again, don't play it exactly like that unless you just want to. There are 3 notes there, play them every way but loose. From there, we know we have this already because we've already done it. Have we done that? Yes, we've done that already. What was it? G note. Then you're just 3rd fret, B string, G string together. Back to this note. Flatten it out. 5th fret. Same 2 strings. Then half step. You can, here's the cool part. When you're here, is doing that. Okay? You're bending the G string more than the B string. You can look at it here. Okay, try to get everything here. So you bend it and release it. That was a pull off, I did not strike it. Again, with all that vibrato, that is key, kids. You gotta get the vibrato. That's nothing more than phrasing again, just playing what the hell you feel. Pardon my double hockey sticks, but you know, you gotta get in there and get some emotions out. Oh, we gotta have that note. What was that? That's just going back home again, finding another G note. How do we find that? Okay, it's right there. That is actually the 7th fret of your B string. Okay? So learn where your notes are at. That's very important. Because there's your 7th again. Same as. Or down here. Remember earlier? We're always doing 7ths. So there they are. Find them everywhere. There it is on the D string. Where is it on the G? Where is it on the B string? Where else is it? Where is it on the E? Where is it on the A? How do I know? Because you figure it out and you find it and you know. You just work on it. That's practice like anything else. Back to me giving you stuff. This is a cool one. Very basic. Chuck Berry made this famous in rock and roll later, but the blues players had it way before him. So we are going to G, which we're going to cover the high E string and the B string with one finger. Your first finger, that's right, your one finger. Not your two finger, that's a whole different ballgame. Okay, so what we're doing is hitting both of those at the same time with our pick. And we're going to pull off the old Chuck Berry, Johnny B. Good thing. But we're not going to play it like that. It's not allowed in this music. But we need to play both of those notes together as one. Sounds like... Yeah, we're in tune. Close enough for blues. Taking that, both those notes, and we're going to take our ring finger on the 5th fret of the G string while we're playing both of those that are already there, and we're going to play all 3 strings, and it sounds ugly as all get out right now until you actually bend while you're playing all 3 strings at once. You bend that G string up in the air a whole step so it actually becomes the same note, D note, as you already have here on your B string. So they will pull together. If you play only those 2 strings together, you will hear it bend into unison, or the same note. And you'll know for the rest of your life that's how far you have to bend it. Your fingers will remember where they've been. So now add that high E string in with it all. Heard Blackfoot, Train Train. And that's kind of where it comes from. So from here, then I want you to pick up on your high E string. Okay? I don't care if you hit all 3 at one time. It's up to you later. But for now... Here's a stupid little lick, but you'll use it for the rest of your life. Got it off Ace Frehley. I've taught this lick before somewhere else, but you need it for this. Okay, that is what we did. Then pick the high E string, still fretted at the third fret. Now we're going to pull off on your B string from 6th fret down to 3rd fret. High E string again. Okay, so you're letting stuff ring. Anything that can still keep ringing and playing while you're holding it down here, barring these 2 strings. Okay, that is just a little something that you're going to use forever. Do not pass this by and go, okay, whatever, because I'm ready to blow your mind for today as much as we're going to blow it. That's right, we're doing this. And we're going to slow it down. What was that? You already know it. That was... We've went over that one 4 or 5 times. Right back to home base. But we just added this now. Okay, you can mess around with it. Now I did nothing. These are called double stops when you play more than one note at a time. Why? I don't know. Because there's 2 strings and then you stop, I guess. I don't know. There's the double stop. There's another one. There's one. And then a single note. But if you play them individually and only play one note out of all these, you can do that stuff and mess around with it. Horse around all you can. There's nobody stopping you but you from doing all the things that you hear a million times a day and then coming up with your own things. There's 12 notes in the entire musical scale. There's only so many certain things you can do with them until you've exhausted all your possibilities, but somehow people come up with new stuff every day. Don't know how it works, but it's magic. Okay, we're just going to hyperextend the lick. Then we have, I'm just going to play one note instead of two for now. Why? Because I'm blues. I don't feel like playing them both. Nah. And all the rest there is that is on the D string. Same thing we were doing before, but you're playing it different. So 5, 3, then 5 on the A, 3 on the D. Then this is all one note. Slide, hammer, or pull off. Slide, pull off. 3, slide to 5. I'm sorry, 5, slide to 3. Let's turn that upside down, do it again. 5, slide to 3, pull off to 1, and then finally G. So 3rd fret, low E string. Okay, so try that one. Then, okay, work on that. Now, okay, now that you got it, I told you, grab that pause button. Same thing. Okay, now let's do a bend, because blues have tons of bends in it. So instead of, anytime you get a whole step somewhere, try it with a bend. Okay, so we're just starting with a pre-bent. That means it's already bent up to this note. Then let loose of it. So instead of, so now we got, you can do that again. So there's that. So same note, same lick. Where did we have it before? Same thing when we were straddling. Same flipping thing. That's right, go back up and grab the money note. So I'm just teaching you how to get from one position to another. Okay, this is not a Karma Sutra book. Again, Google it if you're too young to understand. You're answering back to yourself. Do it an octave higher. What's an octave higher? There's G, 12th fret, there's G again. Okay, you got G here. And then you mean 12th fret, so that means what's on 3rd fret here? 12th fret, up, must be 3 frets up. So whatever you just did here, let's do it here. Yourself. That teaches you how to get all over the neck. So answer back to yourself. You are the blues man. You are the singer. You are the guitar player. Do it all on guitar first before you sing it. Play something, but sing it first. Okay, answer. Get good at that. Okay? If anything, that's one of the best practices that you can do is come down here, play anything, I don't care what it is, and answer it back an octave higher. Or better yet, instead of going where you know it's at, here's this. Now just do it here. Don't just do it because it's safe and you know exactly how to do it because the guitar starts over and you can do it here. Find a different place to play it. I know I can do the same thing everywhere. Find it on every string. Get used to it. Okay? So that is a lot of it, is just finding where you're supposed to be at all over the place. Okay, so from here, we are going to add even more stuff. What can we do? There is, and then I'll tie all this together in a second. More we can still do, just tons. I'm not going to kill you with all this stuff, but I'm going to give you about 3 hours worth of this stuff to get you well on your way. We're going to go to sevenths again. Okay, are we going to overdo them? You bet. That's what blues is about, man. You take it to the excess and then fall off the end and learn something hard and come back and cry about it, whine about it, shoot yourself or you don't. You know, if you live, then it's a blues song. If you don't, then it's a tragedy. Somebody else writes a blues song about you. Sevenths. Okay, play a D chord for me. Regular D. Now, how do you make a D7? Okay, you take your D and you take it down a whole step. So you make it that. Okay, now we want to use that same chord for everything that I'm getting ready to show you. So if that's a D7, or let's say that's just a D, because it is. I haven't made a seventh of it yet. So D, up, half step, that's D sharp. There's E. There's F. There's F sharp. There's G. Okay, so now we are at, what? 7th fret, 8th fret, 7th fret. Now, how do we make a G7? Why are we going to G7? Because we've been in G all day long for the most part, so why ruin a good thing? Let's make a G7 out of that. What did I tell you? When we're playing a D chord, it looks like a D chord, so we'll call it that, even though it's G. Is take that G note now, which is your 8th fret on your B string, and take it back a whole step. But now what do? We just finish everything else and come up with it. Okay, so now we're taking this whole thing, and how much of it do we want to use? As much as you want. Generally you're going to use everything but the high E string, so you're using 2 strings. But that's what you're thinking of, is taking that chord, turning it inside out to point the other way to make a 7th out of it, and now get rid of that first finger. You can put it on later, don't worry about it, or your ring finger, I'm sorry. Keep your first finger there. But that is something very, very, very useful and important in blues, is this 7th here. I know, you're wondering when we get into that and the other one. They're coming right now. And they're right here. Okay, so here they are, don't worry. Okay, easy enough. We started with a 7th. You're alternating, picking G string, B string, G string. Drop everything down a half step. Again. Then one more. Then you're back to G. Okay? You can even go ahead and bar it across right there when you get there. Okay? Now to finish it up the other way, we had the D or G7. Now get rid of the middle one. But the easiest way to play this is to actually do it this way, with your first finger on top at the 7th fret on the G string, and your middle finger on your high E string. So you're skipping your B string altogether, and you're alternating between your G string and your high E string, both on the same frets. We're going to play it the same way though, alternate it. Now here's where it gets weird. Is you have to slide up from the 3rd fret to the 4th fret on your G string with your ring finger, and then add your middle finger to the 1st fret of your high E string. Or you can just stop there and not go. You have your choice. Stop there. Do it any way you want. The first way. Okay, and you can go backward. Then you're getting into a whole different kind of music. Then you can go. Same thing, using that junk. Okay, it all ties together. Everything came from the blues. Okay, I'm sure there was something before it, but it's not important today, is it? It led to a lot of stuff, as you can tell. Okay, now initially when we went, that's all I'm going with that. You can put it in every key you want, but that's how you get those. From the 7th thing, here's where we're going to actually use our right hand. Okay, I'm jumping all over the place. Why? Because I have a lot to show you, and you have a lot to learn on your own. Once again, Daniel-san, you know, wax on, wax off. Take what you learn and go out there, and you got to find some of this wisdom on your own. But I'm going to teach you a lot more than anybody's going to give you at this price, that's for sure. And I'm not going to leave a whole lot to chance. But then again, the most important lessons are the ones you're going to learn on your own. Stay away from the tab again. I'm going to come down and kick your... if you use that stupid stuff. Again, from the G7, getting rid of that high E string, we're going to start using any nervous tension that you might have in your right hand, I want you to take that and slide up into it from a half step back. So we're going to that G7, but leaving out the high E string. No, we're not looking for trains. I am going to be looking for, it's better to show you. Let me get my band back. See where they're at. It don't matter, but I like to get there. There's my piano man. Okay, now what I'm going to show you is playing back and forth on that G string and B string, both of them together at the same time basically, but just going like this, hammering away at it. We're just going to use that, and then we're going to go back a half step, right back to it. Here we go. See how that stuff is starting to come together. A quick example of everything we just did, since the band is right there, and then I'll come back to some more stuff. Take it all over the place. Let's take the band back one more time. I'll give you that one. Okay. So that is just a whole bunch of the same stuff. I will be giving you time to play along with these. I'll give you some tracks to play along with. And we're not even close. I'm going to throw another hour at you. From here, I want to show you just a couple more things in this particular key and in this particular area before I switch yet another tape here on us. Is what you just did there. Okay, now we need to get up to the D chord. Why? Because that's where the songs 9 out of 10 times go. So that's from the... And how do you get there if you're in that particular mode and in most particular places? Is that one. All that is grabbing what you've already done. That stuff. Okay, the part... When you flatten out your finger like that, when you flatten out your ring finger, that is your C. So your second chord in the key of G. So like G, C, D is going to be your chord progression if you're in the key of G for 90% of your blues songs. So you're trying to get from C to D. So you're just taking in that flattened out section that you already did and just taking it up a whole step, but one fret at a time. Okay? So okay. So that is how you get to that. That's just a quickie. But in case you want to know from down here in vocal land where the people would sing it. And if you're looking for it real quick, that's an easy way to find it. Is just flatten out that finger. And then chromatically means go up one fret at a time, half step at a time, every fret till you reach where you're growing, where you're going. Okay, I know I'm already here and that's home, so I'll just flatten that out and just go up a whole step and then I'm home free. Okay, so once again, just a little example of all that little tiny stuff. just your basic lead stuff. We're gonna keep on rolling, kiddies. I get to change the tape one more time, and we'll just keep on rocking and rolling and bluesing out. All right, don't go anywhere. Okay, children, welcome back to hour 3. This will be our final hour in our Roots Blues section, and what we're going to do now is actually go chasing chords and chasing lead parts. Before we haven't done it yet, we've just talked about getting there. Okay, you don't have to. A lot of times you won't want to, but when you do want to, you better know how to get there. So now we're going to drive up that road. I'll show you the difference. I will give you an example first. I'll show you what it sounds like when I actually stay in G for one whole progression, and then the following time around I will actually change and chase the chords and then show you how to do the same. Okay, so you'll hear the difference. So here's G. So there's what it sounds like chasing the chords. Nothing wrong with it, and it's 100% acceptable and expected. You just have to choose which you want to do when, and feel what you want to do when. Sometimes, like I said, it is cool to just stay in the one key, and sometimes it is cool to venture outside and follow the rest of the band. So now we're going to follow the rest of the band. Okay, so you are taking what we have already done, and now we get to play outside of G, even though we're staying inside the key of G. So we're going to take everything that we have done. Let's go ahead and take this G thing, okay, here on the first 2 strings, and let's take it up to C, okay. One little string, there we go. And we're going to move it all the way up here to the 8th fret. So that's where your C is. And you could do the same things you were doing before. Okay? And the thing is, with blues and any other thing, when you go to actually switch keys and chase the chords, is try not to do the exact same type of stuff you were doing before. Okay? Try to get around it so you're not going in G, going, and then in C going, and then in D, because then it's very obvious what you're doing and you're not telling a story, you're just playing guitar licks and people know the difference. Blues is a storytelling thing. Okay, again, you're the best thing I can possibly tell you right at this point is to not make your guitar sound like a guitar. As retarded or guitarded as that sounds, once again, no offense, but try to make it sound like a human voice, try to make it sound like a sax, try to make it sound like something else, but tell a story. Think of what the song is about, and if you can't sing, then tell a story with your guitar part. But don't try to make it sound so much like a guitar. Try to tell a story. Try to keep that conscious in your head all the time. Then the mechanics of guitar playing will actually go kind of out the window, and you'll be able to concentrate more on what the song's actually about and convey a feeling. I know, cry on your beer, but that's what you're actually trying to do here. It's what blues is about. You're trying to convey a feeling. So again, from minute number 1 on this video, when I kept saying that one note can do more than a lot of others, that's what I mean. It's just a matter of how you handle it and what's going through your head right when you're playing it and what you're trying to say. It will come out in your fingers. Okay, so what I played just a second ago, in G, in C, in D, that sounds like a guitar just playing along with the music. That's the last thing you want to sound like. So be careful chord chasing. It can be dangerous, and the fact that separates you from being a good blues player into just being a guitar guy. And you know, at least when you're a blues player, you're somebody cool. If you're a guitar guy, you're just another guy that owns a guitar. Okay, so when we're actually going up here to C, okay, we could still do the same licks, but they can't, or should not be, I should say. Again, no rules, but suggestions. Make it different, way different, if you're chord chasing than what was previously said. So if you were in G, now you're going to C. Now back to G. Make everything different. So each part is sparse and has something else to say than what the one right before it said. So if you're going chord chasing, do not repeat what we were doing before. Like where I said, I'm going to the bathroom. Okay, now when you go to C, don't go to the bathroom again. Okay, so don't go. It's already been done. If you're going to do it, stay where you were. Don't go chord chasing. If you're going to say the same thing again, don't chase the chord. That's kind of a guideline for you. So say something different if you are going to go chord chasing. Okay, so now that we have switched up to C, we're up here at the 8th fret, doing the same thing. Same lick we did before. Again, that was... And I just choose to pick those 2 notes at the end. Okay, which was at the 8th fret on the G string, towards the floor, half step bend, and then it on the C, which is actually in this case the 10th fret on your D string. You can still do those double stops, 2 strings at once. Again, a whole bunch of this. I could spend all day just giving you little examples like it. So I just kept playing the same 2 notes over again. It's just a matter of what I'm doing this time, what I want to say. Now the same 2 notes. Are exactly what I was playing just now, but I just changed the way I said it. But before we had a groove, huh? So now you're getting more into the Stevie Ray-ish era. But back to the simplicity, the roots. You know, these type of things. So, we're going to keep on chasing as I come up with things. They'll keep popping out of my mouth, as you can tell. When we actually go up to the D, this is where things can get kind of hard to explain to make sense, but we'll do best we can with what we got. Okay, so we're back here in G again. Say we're just back here to home base. Same thing I was just playing up here in C. Now the band goes to C, and I want to chase the chord just using 1 note. I take that C I'm using the 7th and bending it up. And that's all I'm going to say with that. Then it's time to come back down the G. Now I don't want nothing else to say right there in G, so I wait till the next chord, the D. Now, we're trying to make it all kind of flow together. So I'm bringing it back down, trying to wrap it all up by staying down here in the vocal range. Okay, so what I did when I went to D, even though it looks like I'm still where the G should have been. Now remember this, okay? G from the beginning, C. Okay, so you do that, G, then the next chord drops straight down, then up a whole step. Okay, now if you actually go from here back to this, so you went from the G to the C to the D, then finally, that is what we did at the very beginning, the first bar chord, first 3 notes. So there's your G, same as this one. So you're ending on that same G note from the beginning of the tape or the video. We don't use tapes anymore, I don't think. But now the D is actually right above it. Okay, so always remember this. Whenever you're doing that, whenever you're looking for that final approach, or your 3rd chord in the song, this case being the D, remember that it's right above there. It's right above your, wherever you're at, actually. So if you're G here, that D will be here. So whatever you just did here in G, now you can go, and you're already in D. Just take the whole thing up 1 string. Okay, so if we just came from G, now the band goes to D. That's down to C. And then you can finish building back to your G. But that's a quick way to get to that 5 chord or the D, because you were here. But just in case you're coming out of something like the G, then just remember you can get back to it because it's just right above where you're already at. Okay, so you don't have to chase the D way up here to get to it. Okay, so that's just a shortcut to get to your D. Okay, so to show you that in exactly as I explained it, is going to be this. So we're in G, C, or C, C. Now I'm in G. Here's D. I can do this. Still in G. There's C. Back to G. Now D. Now. Okay? So that was kind of splitting up, chasing it and not chasing it. You can go right back to just staying in G. Okay? So you can quit chasing anytime you want to. But that shows you the difference between chasing them around. They're the same licks that I've already showed you, but it's just a matter of whether you want to chase them or what sound you're looking for. Okay? Again, don't forget the hyperextension of some of these things. There's so many cool things that can happen. I'm going to give you a few more licks, then I got to start giving you some backing tracks to work with. Some other really real staples of the roots blues stuff that you have to have is one of them being, okay, you could do these little octave things, okay? Octaves, again, are when we were down here in G, and you're kind of doing your bar chord, but you get 2 of the same notes. You can do them anywhere. So find like a G note, and you can play them both together. But you got to find a way to shut up the string in between. Okay. So if I was wanting to do 2 D notes, they're generally, if they're done from from your lowest string, skip a string, and then go to your next one, there's a fret in between. So you got, like, say, the 5th fret and the 7th fret. Those are both A's. Same thing if you drop it down. But then as soon as you start going down here, starting on the D string, then you actually have to go a step and a half higher. Same here. But you can actually use those as cool little lead things. They were used a lot, still are. You sit there and play, like say if we're in G, where we was there. You can actually play the octaves together. That kind of thing. You're getting into, I'll just show you an example. The bus ready to ride. But that's just a quick little thing. But just don't forget you have octaves. That will teach you also where more notes are. If you learn where these octaves are, okay, that's A, that's an A, that's a D, that's a D, that's a G, that's a G, that's a C, that's a C. Okay? It's just a good learning tool. I'm not going to stay on there much. There's not a whole lot to be had, but there's a good learning tool there. Okay, you can find out where all your octaves are and learn your neck in about a quarter of the time. Okay, back to what is actually really cool. These bends, here's one more set of bends that you're going to have. These are used by every genre of music, period. I'll show you them in context. It's those. Same thing. Okay, same thing. Okay, very basic bends. I'm going to take them up high so I can show them to you. You can take them down low. In G, again, why not? These you know. Right there. You already know that. The first one is just starting on the G, going up a step and a half. So in this case, you're actually way up here on 18th, I guess. Yep. Going up a whole step. So starting with it bent, pre-bent. Same thing, next string. Then that one you already know. So even down here. Okay, right now these kind of sound like a rock type of thing. Rock developed out of blues. So here they are in a blues context. Just the way I showed you, but mess around with it. Check this out. That kind of shows you where you can go with it. It's a very lame way to show you, but it is where you can go. Now what I have to really get you is to tie all this together. Let's go to another key just because we can. We're going to slow it way down and go to blues. We're going in the key of C. Okay? Here's the track. Drum roll, maestro. you play. That's what I want to show you basically is a phrasing thing. That's what I have to convey to you in the next 10 minutes. Phrasing. Let's go to the key of C. We're going to dwell there. So let's work out of this position up here at the 8th fret. So working out of there, just like we did in G, but we're up here now. Okay, I want you to go. That's it. Okay, just do it again. And just stop. Learn to respect the space. Respect the space, Daniel-san. Then just grab that high note. That's a typical lick, and you need it. Which is, there's your C. So do the 7th of it. Bend it up a whole step. Put a finger back here somewhere, probably right where it was, to help bend it up. Shake it. If it starts to fall apart or my hand hits it, hit it again. And then the one that you could hyperextend, that note. Take that thing and put the old stuttering man on it again. Make the stuttering slower, faster, slower, whatever. It's all about just creating a bunch of havoc and tension and sorrow and misery and happiness and everything all at once. You just try to take everybody on a flippin' ride. So give them an e-ticket at Disney World, man. Just take them on the best ride you can take them. Put all these little elements in there, but then again, take away a whole bunch and leave them wanting a whole bunch more. And then you can scare the holy bejesus out of them in the next solo. So never let them know what's coming. So that is part of what I'm talking about, this whole phrasing thing. That there, again, is the vibrato. I was kind of doing the jump, but just using vibrato. Almost sounds like you're falling off a cliff or a ghost yelling at you. Okay, now I'm going to show you just a bunch of quick stuff really quick because we're running out of as much as I can possibly fit on one DVD. Another quickie coming right out of something like that. Then you're going to chase it back down to G. Okay, that is a gliss. I'm using all 3 strings, my high 3 strings. I'm just up stroking them and going, nothing different than we've ever done, just that. But it's just getting to it. Okay, I'll show you what I mean in context. Okay, so that's just I forgot we're in C, but now. Now down to F. Okay, so it's just one of those cool things. I'll show it to you again in a second. Here's phrasing. Here's that C. Okay, now I'm going to show you that little gliss down to the G. Now just the C stuff straddling. just hush. Now we'll do the 7th. I can say that all day long. So you can do whatever you want. Now you can take the whole farm with you. Okay, so you can see where we're going. So it's all a matter of, those are the basic licks to the roots of the whole blues thing. There's way more to do, but there's way more lessons too. So Scotty got to have some food on the table. So you can grab the next series of blues lessons that I've actually had out for quite a while. I had a request to go back and get these once again from Mark, to go back and get, the actual roots of these things before it all got really wacky. And this is where the whole basis of all this stuff came from. Those are actually, the original dobro stuff, with your Eric Johnson and all that stuff way back in the day. And then it developed into, this kind of thing. Then it just kept going and became a whole different animal. So these are what we have to work with. Hope you enjoyed what I've given you so far to get you on your track to being a blues guitarist and a blues performer, and just actually just playing some of the coolest music there ever was. Okay, so I'm going to give you some tracks here, and we'll sit here and play along with them. First one I'm going to go ahead and give you, since we're in the key of C, is the one that we're currently on. I'll just let the dude play through. I'll just hang here with you, and you get the jam right along with it. I'll give you a few different tracks in different keys, and you're not going to see much of anything else from me other than me hanging out while you're jamming to the tracks. Okay, because there's a few tracks you're really going to need. I'll come back with some closing words, but study these as much as you can, and for God's sakes, just go through these and take them way outside the box. Again, these are all just simply guidelines. There's so much more to do with these. There's a lifetime of things you can do with one of these licks I showed you, but just turn it inside out in 40 different ways. Not just the way I show you. Don't just do the way I showed you. That's just to get you thinking. The rest of it is, you have to learn the feeling on your own, man. It's really something you just can't teach. You can't teach somebody how to feel. As groovy as that sounds. Okay, anyway, so here comes your thing in the key of C. And I'll throw you some other tracks and yak it. So here comes in C. We'll be in, using C, F's, and G's. Will be your 3 chords, okay? So C, F, and G. If you want to do the C and the F9, oh, don't forget all that stuff. Okay, so don't forget all this stuff. There's a ton of stuff on here. Just don't forget how much there is on here. Come back and thank me later. Okay, go. Here comes your track in C. Take it away, Ringo. That's in G. There's F. And C. Now there's G. Now we're starting now in C. Alrighty, there is your track in the key of C. Okay, the one I'm going to give you next was our track in G that we were in for 90% of this lesson. Okay, so G, it's good to have a drink. G, it's good to put it down. G is everybody's favorite key when it comes to blues for whatever reason. There's open tunings and slide stuff we'll do in other lessons, but here comes your track in the key of G. Count for me.
1,
Thank you.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, we're just staying on G for now. There's your C. That was our track in the key of G. Now I'm going to give you a couple that you have not heard yet, just to give you something to play along with. Okay, here is a nice one in the key of, let's go with the key of E. Okay, so the key of E, back down here. If you need it, just do what you did. Same thing. So nothing different, just find the new position. You can do it. Okay, so we're going to the key of E. It's kind of a boogie-woogie type of blues, but it's good for you. Okay, coming at you. Key of E. E, A, and B.
2,
E, A, and B.
3.
Okay, there was a little something wild in the key of E for you. Now we're going to do something, your typical blues. We're going to slow it down, get you more in the vein of where we're at. I'm taking you to the key of B flat for your next backing track, okay? So your chords will actually be B flat. If you need it, that's just one half step sharp from A. So B flat. Then you've got your E flat. Back to B flat. And your only other one is F. Okay, so B flat, E flat, and F are your three chords in here. And we're going to slow her back down. So once again, key of B flat coming your way. You can always watch me on the screen. I'm here for you. Start now. There you go. Okay, that was kind of a cool one. Okay, so you had your beginner stuff in there. We had in the. Don't forget about those ninth chords. Okay, go back to the beginning, get those, and they went up. So all that stuff in that jam track. Okay, I'm going to give you one more jam track in a key that we haven't even touched at all, which is the key of D. Okay, so key of dog. So you'll be doing D, G, and A's will be in here, just to see if you can find them on your own. That's what they're here for you to jam, for you to think, for you to figure this out. So here we go in the key of D. You can always look at me for some help if you need it. folks, that is the end of our Roots Blues for this time around. I have a few other blues lessons out there if you want to continue with the studies on it. 4 or 5 of them more to be exact, and there's going to be more to come. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if there's ever anything you want me to work out, put it on a video for you. I'll be happy to try to fit it in the schedule. I'm about 20, 30 videos behind, but I'm going to make up ground really quick right now. Hammer them out there. I'll knock them right back at you. If I can figure it out, I'll teach it to you. So once again, I hope you had a great time. Explore, explore, explore. Do not just stick to what I showed you, okay? Once again, that's all I ask. Take everything as a rule of thumb, and then, that's right, break them thumbs. Just like that. The rules are meant to be broken, man. Just step outside there and whatever feels good to you, whatever sounds good to you, it's all good. Like I said, I just gave you some stuff, the guidelines to kind of go by, but there are so many places you can take each and every little rhythm or lead lick that I showed you. So just get there, explore, play with them, jam with the tracks, download some tracks, whatever you do, just don't quit playing, okay? So once again, Scott Grove, you guys have fun, play loud, alright? Take care.